The fluorescent lights in the ICU hallway didn't flicker. They buzzed, constant, cold. Anna sat in a stiff plastic chair outside room 4. Her back ached, her eyes stung, but she hadn't moved in hours. Behind the glass, her 8-year-old son Eli lay still, his tiny chest rising and falling only with the help of a ventilator. Wires crawled across his body like tangled vines, monitors blinking out a rhythm she had learned to fear. Beep, beep, pause, beep. That sound, it wasn't just Eli's heartbeat. It was Anna's entire world hanging on every mechanical breath. She whispered again, "Just stay with me, baby, please." Her fingers wrapped around his little hand earlier were now clenched in her lap. She couldn't hold him anymore. The nurse said not to. He was too fragile. And so she sat, waiting, watching, counting every second like it might be the last. Anna was a single mom. She ran a design business from home, worked long hours, built a quiet life. But none of that mattered now. Not the clients, not the bills. All that mattered was Eli still breathing when the sun came up. Anna wasn't rich, but she had planned for this, just not like this. For over 10 years, she had saved religiously, every dollar set aside, every project taken on, even when she was exhausted. She skipped vacations, canceled birthdays, said no to things she wanted, just in case Eli ever needed more than what insurance could cover. And now here they were. She watched the IV bag drip like a countdown clock. She heard the ventilator hum like a machine keeping death at bay. This was why she had saved. Not for luxury, not for show, but for moments like this. Moments where love wasn't enough, where only cold, hard cash could buy time. She had enough, just enough to keep going. At least she thought she did. Anna pulled out her phone. Maybe it was habit. Maybe she just needed a number to hold on to. She tapped her banking app and waited. It loaded, then froze, then displayed something that made her heart lurch. Balance, $0. Checking, gone. Savings, gone. Business account, also 0. For one long, terrifying second, she forgot how to breathe. And for the first time since Eli entered the ICU, it wasn't his life she feared losing. It was everything else. At first, Anna thought it was a glitch, a bug, a banking error. She blinked, closed the app, opened it again. Still $0. She opened her other card, her business account, also empty. Her pulse pounded in her ears. Her hands began to shake. The sterile hospital walls suddenly felt like they were folding inward. She tried to stand, but her knees buckled. She dropped back down into the plastic chair like gravity had doubled. Her heart wasn't racing, it was slamming. She dialed the bank. Her fingers fumbled on the screen. She couldn't even remember how to breathe, let alone speak. The call connected. "Thank you for calling Portland First National. I need to speak to someone, right now." Anna's voice cracked, barely louder than a whisper. After a short hold, a woman answered with a calm, rehearsed tone. "Yes, ma'am. I see several large transfers overnight, all authorized, from a device linked to your account." Anna froze. "That's not possible," she whispered. The woman paused, then said with unsettling precision, "The security questions were answered correctly. Transfers happened between 11:40 p.m. and 4 a.m. this morning, while she was here, in the ICU, holding her son's hand." Anna hung up. She didn't say goodbye, didn't move, just sat there, listening to the heart monitor beep behind the door and wondering who just erased her entire life. The words echoed, authorized from a trusted device. Trusted by who? Anna's breath came in short, jagged bursts. Her eyes darted across the hospital walls, like the answer might be written in the paint. Someone had answered her security questions. Someone had logged in. Someone who knew everything. Her mother? No, she never even used online banking. Her sister? No. Serena wouldn't, couldn't. Could she? Anna's thoughts raced like static, disjointed, dangerous. She pulled up her call log. She checked her email. She refreshed her bank app again, hoping the numbers would magically come back. Still zero. Her fingers trembled as she scrolled through the notification history. Transfers. Multiple. All made between midnight and dawn. The app listed the source, Portland, Oregon, known device. Her stomach twisted. That wasn't random. That was personal. That was her. Or someone close enough to pretend. A chill crawled up her spine. This wasn't identity theft by some hacker across the world. It was worse. This was someone who smiled at her face and robbed her behind her back. The gravel crunched under Anna's tires as she pulled into the driveway. The lake house stood tall in the dusklight, wrapped in warm wood and old memories. It used to smell like grilled corn, sunscreen, and her father's aftershave. Now it smelled like something else. Threat. This was the place where Eli learned to ride a bike. Where Anna watched fireworks with Serena on the deck. Where their father used to say, "If the world falls apart, this house stands." But now, the house was standing, but Anna wasn't sure she still belonged inside it. She didn't knock. She opened the front door like someone stepping into enemy territory. Laughter poured out from the living room, loud, relaxed, familiar. Then it stopped, as if her presence pressed the mute button on the whole house. Her heels tapped against the wooden floor like war drums. Serena peeked over the couch, her smile wilting as she saw her sister. Gideon leaned back, legs crossed, whiskey in hand, like he owned the whole damn place. The TV hummed in the background, but no one said a word. Anna's voice broke the silence. Cold, sharp, controlled. "Where is it?" Gideon smirked. And in that moment, Anna knew she was standing inside the very place her life had been stolen from. "Where is it?" Anna asked again, this time louder. Her voice cracked, not from fear, but fury. Gideon took a slow sip of his whiskey, then set the glass down with a lazy clink. "Well, hello to you too," he said, lips curling into that smug little smirk Anna hated since the day she met him. She stepped forward, fists clenched. "Don't play with me." "Play?" Gideon raised an eyebrow. "You're the one barging in here like it's your house." "It is my house," Anna snapped. "It was Dad's, and he left it to all of us until you rewrote the rules." Silence. Serena wouldn't meet her eyes. Anna turned to her. "Did you know?" she asked. "Did you help him?" Serena looked down, fingers twitching against her wineglass. "Don't make this about you," she muttered. "That broke something." Anna let out a hollow laugh, one that sounded more like pain than amusement. "Don't make this about me. You stole $850,000 while my son was in the ICU." Gideon leaned back unbothered. "We needed it more than you." The words landed like a slap. Anna blinked. Did she just hear that? Serena said nothing. No denial, no apology, just silence. "You always bounce back," Gideon added with a shrug. "You'll figure it out. You always do." Anna stared at them. These weren't strangers. These were the people who once celebrated Eli's birthday with balloons and cake, who toasted her success when she opened her design firm. Now they sat there sipping stolen comfort, wearing betrayal like silk. And in that moment, Anna knew this wasn't just theft. This was a declaration of war. "We needed it more than you." The words hung in the air like smoke after a fire. Not shouted, not whispered, just casually dropped as if Gideon had explained why he'd borrowed a sweater. Anna stared at him. Her brain heard it, but her heart refused to process it. Needed it more? Her son was on life support. Machines were keeping him alive. She had saved for years, denied herself everything, comfort, rest, freedom, so she could be prepared for the worst. And this was the worst. But according to them, it wasn't enough to earn her the right to her own money. Her own family thought she was less worthy than their lifestyle. Her hands went numb. Her breath caught in her throat. How could you say that?" she asked, barely recognizing her own voice. Gideon didn't flinch. "You don't have a mortgage. We do. You don't have 2 teenagers in private school," Serena added quietly. "And you're single. You don't have a second income." Anna let out a sharp breath like something inside her cracked. So that's what this was. Not just theft. They'd decided her life was worth less. "You looked me in the eye last week," she whispered. "You brought flowers for Eli. And the whole time you were smiling, knowing you'd already taken everything from me." Serena wouldn't look up. Gideon shrugged. "We had to do what was best for the family." And just like that, Anna realized she was no longer part of the family. She was the sacrifice. The dining room looked like a magazine spread. Crystal glasses, folded napkins, candles flickering in soft amber light. And Anna, she was seated at the very end of the table. Not at her father's place, not even beside Serena. No, she had been pushed to the far edge next to the swinging kitchen door, the invisible seat where servers would normally stand. No one offered to move, no one made room. She pulled the chair back on her own and sat. The wood creaked beneath her like it resented her presence. The conversations around her hummed with shallow laughter and surface-level smiles. But every now and then they glanced her way, and quickly looked away, as if her pain might be contagious. Anna's fingers gripped the edge of her plate. The food, lavish, elegant, expensive, tasted like dust. And then she saw it. Across the table, Gideon raised his arm to pour more wine. And there it was, on his wrist, the Omega Seamaster, her father's watch, the one he wore on every birthday, the one he handed to Anna on his deathbed. "This stays with you. It's part of you now," he had said. And now it was sitting there on the wrist of the man who'd stolen everything. Gideon caught her staring. He tapped the face of the watch and smiled. Not because he liked the time, but because he liked what it did to her. The house had fallen into its nighttime silence. Laughter was gone. The music stopped. Only the distant hum of the refrigerator remained. Anna slipped out of the guest room barefoot, her footsteps soft on the old wood. She didn't need light. She knew this house like her own heartbeat. Her feet led her down the hallway, past the stairs, to his office. The door creaked softly as she opened it, and just like that, it hit her. The smell. Old leather. Paper. Aftershave. Dust. Everything in this room still smelled like her father. The lamp on the desk gave off a dim amber glow, warm, worn, like a memory refusing to fade. Anna stepped inside. She hadn't been in here since the funeral. The chair still pushed under the desk. His pen holder still filled. A framed picture of her and Serena years ago still on the shelf. But something felt off. The drawers weren't lined up the way he always kept them. One folder stuck out too far. The books were stacked unevenly, like someone rushed. Her father had been meticulous. Someone had been in here, recently. And as she stood there, heart pounding, Anna's instincts whispered, "Look deeper." Her hands moved on instinct. Anna crouched beside the desk, slowly pulling out drawer after drawer. Bills, notes, tax folders, and then an envelope, thick, cream-colored, her name written across it in her father's handwriting. For a second, she couldn't move. Her fingertips traced the curve of the letters like she was touching his voice. She opened it. Inside, estate documents, not copies, originals. Anna's breath caught. She knew these. Her father had discussed them with her. His will was clear. She'd inherit part of the lake house, a portion of the business, the savings account he started when she turned 18. But what she held in her hands wasn't that. It was new, different. The dates were recent, months after his funeral. She flipped through page after page. Her name appeared only once on the very last line. A formality, a courtesy. Every asset, every property, every share was now in Gideon and Serena's names. Her hands began to tremble. This wasn't just stolen money anymore. This was legacy. This was family. Gone. He couldn't have signed this, she whispered, voice cracking. And in her gut, she knew he didn't. Anna sat down on the old leather chair, the document shaking in her hand. The lamp flickered, and in that quiet, golden light, the truth hit her like a freight train. This wasn't recent. This wasn't an impulsive betrayal. This had been planned, calculated, layered. She remembered all the small moments. Serena suddenly taking over conversations with their father about finances, Gideon pushing her out of decisions about the lake house, the way they always insisted she focus on being a great mom instead of running the business. The comments so subtle, "You were never into the family side of things anyway. Dad always saw Serena as the responsible one. You're too emotional to handle legal stuff." And worst of all, she believed them. For years, she'd accepted being pushed aside. She thought it was humility. She thought it was maturity. But now she saw it was grooming. They'd made her question her own value, step by step, until the moment they took everything, and she barely made a sound. "They never saw me as part of the legacy," she whispered. "Just a placeholder, a loose end to erase." The door clicked shut behind her. No one saw her collapse. No one heard the sound her soul made when it cracked. Anna dropped to the floor in the corner of the guest room, hands clutching the forged will. The walls didn't echo. Her breath came out in short gasps, chest-tight sobs rising like waves crashing inside her ribs. The betrayal wasn't just financial. It was personal. It was spiritual. Her name erased, her father's voice mocked, her legacy ripped out from under her. And her son, Eli, still in the ICU, hooked up to wires, innocent to the war happening outside his hospital room. Anna curled into herself, shaking. She let herself feel it all, the grief, the humiliation, the unthinkable loneliness. And then she sat up, slowly, as if something ancient inside her spine straightened. She looked at the wall, not with despair, but with fire. "You won't erase me," she whispered. "You won't bury me. I'm still here, and I will make sure you remember that." Her voice was quiet, but steady. That was the moment Anna stopped crying and started fighting. Anna sat in the hospital hallway, her coffee cold, her eyes hollow. Then a soft voice called her name. "Anna." She looked up and blinked. Marcy, the cousin who always stayed quiet at family dinners, who never took sides, who vanished during drama. Anna forced a smile. "Didn't expect you here." Marcy sat beside her without a word, reached into her purse, pulled out her phone. "You need to hear this." Anna frowned, then pressed play. A voice came through, slurred, drunk, smug, Gideon. "Of course I had him fake the signature. You think Serena could have done that herself? Please. The will's bulletproof. The money's already out. Anna will never see a dime." Anna froze. Her blood turned to ice. Marcy locked eyes with her. "I didn't know what to do with it, but when I heard Eli was in ICU, I couldn't stay out of it anymore." Anna stared at the screen. At the waveform of Gideon's voice, the first crack in the wall, the first proof, and for the first time in days, she felt power. Anna replayed the recording, over and over. Each time her jaw clenched tighter, her spine straighter. Gideon's voice, half drunk and cocky, echoed through the hospital corridor where she'd sat for hours. "She signed everything like a fool." His laugh followed, arrogant, cruel. Anna closed her eyes. Her stomach turned. She had trusted them. Trusted Serena. Trusted her own blood. But they weren't family. Not anymore. Marcy, still seated beside her, placed a hand on Anna's shoulder. "That's not the only clip," she said. Anna looked up. "I have one more," Marcy whispered. "And this one, it maims every single lie." Anna sat still, her heart pounding like a war drum. This wasn't just betrayal. This was war, and she had her first bullet. Marcy stared at the floor. Her fingers trembled as she held the phone. "I knew what they were doing," she whispered. "I just didn't know how bad it was." Anna looked at her cousin, the one who always kept her head down, who never interfered. "Why didn't you say anything?" Marcy's voice cracked. "Because I was scared. Gideon, he's ruthless. And Serena, she's not the girl we grew up with." A pause. "But when I saw Eli hooked up to those machines, I couldn't keep quiet anymore." She handed Anna the phone again. This time with more than just one clip. Dozens of files, labeled, dated, all secretly recorded over the last few months. They called you useless, said you'd crack eventually, that you'd never have the strength to fight back. Anna didn't blink. Then let's prove them wrong. That night, betrayal had a new name, Exhibit A. Drake didn't look like the movies. No dark glasses, no dramatic trench coat. Just a calm man in a gray shirt, sleeves rolled, carrying a notebook and a quiet kind of focus. "You're Anna?" he asked gently. She nodded. "I've read the financial activity. I've listened to the tapes. What they did wasn't just betrayal, it was felony-level fraud." Anna's hands clenched. Drake continued flipping a page. "But they made mistakes, sloppy ones, traces left behind. And if you're ready, I can help you build a case that tears their lies apart." Anna swallowed. She had walked through fire, through betrayal, through silence, and now finally someone was walking back toward her, not with pity, but with a plan. Marcy leaned over and whispered, "He's the guy you call when the wolves are inside the house." Drake looked up. "And Anna," he said firmly, "you've already survived the worst. Now let's make them regret ever thinking you wouldn't." For the first time in weeks, Anna breathed, and it didn't burn. Anna stood on the porch of the lake house, her hand hovering above the door handle. The air was thick with old memories, laughter, betrayal, and now strategy. Inside, hidden behind a decorative vase and beneath the mantelpiece, tiny surveillance cameras were recording. Drake and Marcy had planted them earlier that morning. "You're sure you want to do this?" Marcy had asked. Anna's voice was flat. "I need to look weak. That's the only way they'll talk freely." The door opened. Serena looked surprised. Anna gave a broken smile. I just want peace." Gideon appeared behind Serena sipping whiskey. His tone was smug. "Changed your tune already?" Anna stepped in, heart pounding, every move rehearsed. "Maybe I was wrong to fight," she said softly. "Maybe you were right." They exchanged a quick glance that look predators give when prey stops running. But what they didn't know was that the prey had a legal team, audio surveillance, and a firestorm building behind her. The trap had been set. All Anna had to do was let them talk. The fire crackled softly in the lake house living room. Gideon leaned back in the leather chair, swirling the amber liquid in his glass. Anna sat across from him, nodding slowly, pretending to listen, while every instinct in her body screamed. Behind a vase, the red light on the hidden camera blinked. "You know," Gideon slurred slightly, "Serena always said you'd come crawling back. We just didn't expect it this fast." He laughed loud, full of himself. "Honestly," he went on, "rewriting that will, easiest thing we ever did. Your dad signed everything in cursive. All I had to do was copy it. Twice." Anna froze for a beat, then smiled, just a little. "So, the will was changed?" she asked softly. "Of course it was," Gideon barked proud. "You think we were gonna let all that money go to the sister who ran a failing business while babysitting a dying kid?" That was it. The confession, caught in high-definition, audio time-stamped, backed by metadata. Anna stood quietly. "Need anything?" Gideon called out behind her. "No," she said, voice steady. "You just gave me everything I need." Drake's fingers flew across the keyboard like a pianist in combat. Screens flickered. Lines of code, login logs, device fingerprints. "Here," he said, pointing at the timeline on his monitor. "August 17, 2:34 a.m., $150,000 transfer. IP address traces back to the Lake House Wi-Fi. Same MAC address as Gideon's tablet." Anna leaned in, stunned. "Can you prove it wasn't me?" Drake smirked. "Already did. You were logged into your hospital network at the same time accessing Eli's medical chart. Timestamped. Secure login. Can't fake it." He clicked again. "Next, September 2. $230,000 moved to an offshore shell account. Registered under a fake name, but linked to Serena's high school email." Anna blanked. She used her teenage email? Drake chuckled. "Criminals are dumb when they think they've won." He opened another folder, audio synced to logs matching exact times. Video, audio, IP logs, account numbers, all tied to the same devices. All roads lead to them. Anna exhaled a mix of exhaustion and adrenaline. This wasn't just hope anymore. It was a case. The invitation said family dinner at 6, but Anna knew what it really was, a masquerade of lies dressed up with linen napkins and fake smiles. She walked into the lake house like a ghost returned, calm, controlled, but her hands clenched around a slim manila envelope, the kind that doesn't scream but destroys. Gideon was already seated at the head of the table, laughing with Serena. Marcy gave Anna the smallest nod from across the room. Drake, waiting in a parked car outside, had synced the hidden camera feed to his phone. One click, one word, that was all it would take. Anna sat down at the far end of the table again, the outcast, again, the invisible. "You look tense," Gideon smirked. Anna met his eyes. No blink, no fear. "Not tense," she replied, "just prepared." Then she placed the envelope on the table. "Let's start dinner, shall we?" The clock on the wall ticked louder than ever. In exactly 12 minutes, someone would be in handcuffs. "I just want us to stop fighting," Anna said, gently raising her glass halfway. Gideon narrowed his eyes, suspicious but amused. "Did the ICU finally break your spirit?" Anna smiled. Soft, hollow. "No," she replied. "It reminded me what really matters. Family. Forgiveness." Serena looked down at her plate. Marcy watched silently from the corner, phone in hand. Drake, still outside, whispered into the comms, "All cameras recording, sound is clear." Anna stood. "Before we eat, I wanted to share something, a memory from Dad, about truth." She walked over to the TV on the far side of the room, plugged in the USB. Gideon scoffed. "What now, a home movie?" Anna pressed play. And then Gideon's voice, slurred and proud, filled the room. "She signed it all, like a dumb little girl. We forged the whole thing. Easy. She never saw it coming." A fork dropped. Serena froze. The video continued. Dates, dollar amounts, laughter. "I guess Dad's Omega fits me better anyway." The room was silent, except for the soft hum of justice turning. The room fell still. Anna didn't speak. She didn't have to. Her fingers moved like clockwork, opening the laptop, clicking the folder named Truth, Final Cut. One click. Then came the voice. Gideon, drunk, mocking. "We drained every penny, every damn penny." From her account, the business, even her kid's medical fund. And she still had no clue. Gasps. Aunt Ruth dropped her glass. Serena covered her mouth, eyes wide. Marcy stood in the corner, frozen, watching it all unfold. The voice continued, "I mean, if you're gonna fake a will, do it with style, right?" Anna sat back down, calm, deadly calm. Gideon's face turned gray. His lips moved, but no words came out. The sound of betrayal, it echoed louder than any scream. The room was heavy with silence when Anna's phone buzzed. She glanced at the screen. Drake. Taking a deep breath, she answered. "Everyone, listen carefully." Drake's voice echoed through the speaker, firm and clear. "We have comprehensive evidence. IP logs showing unauthorized access from Gideon's devices, timestamps matching the fraudulent transactions, and signatures proven to be forged by forensic analysis." Gasps filled the room. The amount drained exceeds $850,000, including funds meant for Eli's medical care. Anna held the phone steady. "This isn't just theft, it's criminal fraud punishable by law." Silence reigned. Drake added, "We've already coordinated with authorities for an immediate arrest." Eyes turned to Gideon, whose confident facade was cracking. Anna's heart raced. Justice was no longer a hope. It was happening. The front door burst open with a loud bang. Officers in dark uniforms streamed in, badges gleaming under the chandelier light. "Gideon Price, you are under arrest for fraud, theft, and identity tampering," the lead officer declared, voice firm. Gasps and murmurs swept through the room. Gideon's smug facade shattered instantly. His eyes darted around, searching for an escape that wasn't there. Handcuffs clicked shut around his wrists. Serena's sobs broke through the chaos, her face buried in her hands. The family sat stunned, some silent, some in tears. Anna stood tall, heart pounding, feeling the heavy weight of justice settling in. This was more than victory. It was a reckoning. Anna stood tall, eyes sweeping the stunned faces around the room. Her voice was calm, but carried the weight of years lost. "This isn't just about money." She paused, letting the silence press in. "It's about my father, about my son, about my honor." The room held its breath. No one dared interrupt. She took a step forward, steady and sure. "And I will fight to protect all three, no matter the cost." Her words hung like a verdict, a promise, the beginning of a new chapter. The rain fell softly, blurring the world outside Anna's door. Then a knock. Anna opened it to find Serena standing there, no makeup, hair damp and tangled, hands trembling. "Can I come in?" Serena's voice cracked, vulnerable and raw. Inside, she sank onto the couch, eyes avoiding Anna's gaze. He controlled me," she whispered. "Made me believe I was nothing without him. I didn't mean for this to happen." Anna listened, heart heavy but open. This was the sister she thought she'd lost, and maybe, just maybe, a chance to rebuild. Serena sat at the kitchen table, pen in hand, the transfer papers before her. "I don't want anything from him anymore," she said softly, eyes wet but determined. With a deep breath, she signed. The papers were more than just legal documents. They were a surrender and a beginning. The car rolled down the gravel driveway, the lake house coming into view bathed in soft sunlight. Eli, now stronger, pressed his small hand into Anna's. "Feels like home," he whispered. Anna smiled, her heart lighter than it had been in months. The house was quiet, but alive with memories, waiting to be healed. They stepped inside together, ready to rebuild not just walls and floors, but hope, love, and trust. A blue teddy bear sat on the mantel, a small but powerful symbol of their fight and survival. Anna looked at Eli and whispered, "This is just the beginning." And for the first time in a long time, the future looked bright. The sun streamed through dusty windows as Anna hammered each nail with steady hands. The scent of fresh paint filled the air, covering years of neglect and pain. Every brushstroke was a promise to her father, to Eli, and to herself. She wasn't just restoring a house, she was reclaiming her life. Each repaired hinge, each smoothed wall whispered resilience. The past was there, but it no longer held her captive. Anna paused, looking around the room. A quiet strength settled in her chest, a certainty that no storm could break her again. Anna carefully placed Eli's worn blue teddy bear on the mantel above the fireplace. Its fur was threadbare from years of hugs, but to her, it was the strongest symbol of all, a promise, to her son, to her father, to herself. "I'm still here," she whispered, "and this time, no one's taking me away." The house was quiet, filled with soft light and the gentle hum of healing. For the first time in years, Anna felt peace, a new beginning. Sometimes you have to lose everything to finally reclaim who you are. Anna's story is a reminder that the deepest betrayals don't come from strangers, but from the people we once trusted most. When they stole her money, mocked her pain, and erased her from her own legacy, she didn't fall apart. She rebuilt. And so can we. Trust your gut, even when it hurts. Silence protects no one. Justice doesn't have to be loud, it just has to be real. Because strength isn't about never breaking. It's about what you choose to build after. If this story moved you, if it reminded you of your own strength, subscribe to our channel now. Because on Through Her Eyes, we tell stories that fight back, that heal, and that set the record straight. Tap the bell to stay with us and never miss a moment that matters. And if you know someone who needs this, send it to them right now. Because sometimes a single story can save someone else.